Ken, do me a favor. Can you open this up and see if I'm still streaming? It should say live. Thank you.
I don't know, everybody's like standing there waiting. Huh? No, because the ABC guy walked in and out. I asked him, I said, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Is there something going on? No. I don't know if you know which I'm talking about. National one. I just didn't know if you want to talk about it. Huh? No, I saw everybody with cameras like looking that way, like nothing. I asked him, he was just up there. The ABC guy. I don't know his name, I just know his face. And I was like, I'm gonna run into the bathroom. Is something going on? He's like, we're just not yeah. Oh, okay. How it is, you know everybody's faces. I know everybody's, Oh, okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
good afternoon. Yeah, so apparently the jury cannot decide on or agree on some of the charges. And they went to the judge with it, and he told them to go back and keep trying. So just a few, like 2 minutes ago, Daniel Penny was walked out,
No, I just
with
thought
his
maybe
attorneys. So it's expected that attorneys are going to make a statement or, to explain what's going to happen right now. It is assumed that the defense will ask for a mistrial, and they may or may not get it. Now, all this taking so long and this deliberating and deadlocking is not good, I believe, for Daniel Penny, which I think is a travesty. I think this is should never have gotten this far. But again, we've got the DA, Bragg, who is intent on, I believe, making a name for himself. And it's just not. I don't know. Something is very wrong. And Lynn Marie, where you at? I think you were up in the air already. Hey, Didi. Daniel Penny was a subway rider. This was a subway train in New York. And they were sitting on the train, and a guy came in, a homeless guy, but he was obviously high on something. And he walked around telling everybody he's going to kill somebody. He doesn't care what happens to him. He was being very aggressive and walked around bullying everybody on the train. And he kept saying he's going to kill somebody today, and he doesn't care what happens to him. I don't care what happens to me. And then he just went around too often. And people were afraid, especially the women, but people were afraid. And so this guy, Daniel Penny, a military veteran, took matter into his own hands, and he stabilized the guy. He put him in a chokehold. He got down on the ground, wrestled with him, and he had him in a chokehold. The problem is the guy went out, passed out, and then he died. So apparently the guy had a lot of drugs in his system. And one of the witnesses was a, I think he was a the medical examiner, if I'm not mistaken, or some kind of doctor related to the case, said the guy had a lot of drugs in him, and he didn't die from the chokehold. He died from the effects of that hold on him because he had all these drugs in his system, and they affected his heart and lungs. So it wasn't necessarily because of the chokehold, but related to the chokehold. And hey, Paul, all the witnesses on the train were glad that Daniel Penny stepped up and took matters into his hands just to keep everybody safe. But you got the prosecutor, and you have some people, some advocates and activists that are protesting Daniel Penny, calling him a murderer, and they're out there protesting every time he walks into the courtroom about just plain murder. That's murder. Yeah, similar to the George Floyd thing. I think I don't know. You can never. It's easy to, what do they call it? It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback. Well, I would have done this, or he should have done that, or he should have done this. Some said he should have let go as soon as he passed out. He should have let go, which is like a sleeper hold, if I'm not mistaken. But oxygen was prevented, and so the guy ended up dying. It was more of as a result from, but he didn't. This was testified to. He didn't die of the chokehold necessarily. So I'm trying to see what the charges are. Actual charges. Give me a minute. So the charge that they're having trouble to coming to an agreement on is second degree manslaughter. So we are just all this is just waiting for a. I think it's more like they're hoping somebody comes out to make a statement. Don't see a podium, but you do see the press gathered around. So the charges are second degree manslaughter and negligent homicide.
Just like on the side of the road, like
And I think they already made their decision on negligent homicide, and second degree manslaughter is the one that they're struggling with. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me right now. I just decided to pop up and see what maybe we can catch some of this live. Chihuahua Mama, how you doing? Hey, Charlene. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't think anybody wanted. He doesn't. I don't think he wanted to kill the guy. Like, obviously, I don't know. I say obviously. If I'm defending my life, well, I'll do what it takes, and if it happens to be the ultimate, well, then so be it. But did the guy have it? They're gonna look at all that. I'm sure they questioned, did he have weapons on him? Was he actually gonna do something? But you got a train full of people who were there when it happened, and they are all thankful for Daniel Penny. Hey, Chuck. Can you guys hear the audio from the city streets of New York? I don't have my headphones on today, my earpiece, so I can't tell if you can actually hear it.
You go with buddies and then just stick you in the car and just go places. You know what that place is?
So Daniel Perry walked out of the courtroom already with his attorneys. So it's expected that the attorneys are. Oh, we got another perp from somebody else, from something else. Okay, cool. Thank you. So they're expecting attorney's going to come out, or somebody's going to come out and say something.
No, but his dad made him bottle caps and little tiny rubber balls.
Let's see. This is from ABC New York. The judge in the Daniel Perry's subway chokehold manslaughter trial said he's considering declaring a mistrial after jurors reported that they continue to be deadlocked on the second-degree manslaughter charge. They sent a second note repeating that they cannot come to a unanimous conclusion on the account. While prosecutors said the Manhattan District Attorney is willing to dismiss the top charge, leaving the jury to deliberate on the lesser count of criminally negligent homicide. The judge said that they may not be legally permissible. It seems to be the law that it's just a mistrial. You can't go to count two.
That's strength, though.
Like the one in the snow and everything.
But a lot of that is that though, like when you were playing,
yeah. So there's opposing views from everywhere. I hope it's a mistrial and it's gone, and I hope they don't retry him. I think that'll be. I think considering the state of the union right now, the state of New York, the state of New York,
this is always my argument for that.
I think this could be a very bad thing if he were to be prosecuted and found guilty. And not taken away from, he took a life, but you've got to feel for what was his intent, obviously it wasn't premeditated murder. He didn't get on the train that morning and I'm going to kill somebody today. And I don't know, people, this is to me common sense. People need to understand some things happen like this when you're just going through your life. You're on the train or you're on a bus or walking down the street and something happens. You have to deal with it. You don't know how you're going to react. If there was premeditation, well, then that's a different story. Like if the two knew each other, or if they had a run-in before or something, well, then maybe you can say, well, yeah, there was something going on before. So, but that's not the case.
I know.
The jury is made up of 7 women and 5 men. So it was only 20 minutes after the judge told them to go back and keep deliberating. 20 minutes later, they came back and said, they sent back another note requesting more information about the term reasonable person in their instructions. And if you've ever been in a jury, something intense, yeah, words matter and phrases matter and definitions matter. To convict Penny of manslaughter, I'm reading from the Eyewitness News ABC 7 from New York. To convict Penny of manslaughter, the jury must be convinced that Penny acted recklessly and grossly deviated from how a reasonable person would behave knowing the risk his conduct posed. So from that phrase is why they're asking what would be considered reasonable person, or what's the definition of a reasonable person? So again, that sentence right now is an important one. To convict Penny of manslaughter, the jury must be convinced Penny acted recklessly and grossly deviated from how a reasonable person would behave knowing the risk his conduct posed. So, like, how would a reasonable person react? And the guy's got no history of violence or none of that stuff. He's not like a career criminal or anything. So the verdict form, it asks the jury to decide the first count, which is this one, the one that they're held up on, second-degree manslaughter. So let's see, the form asks the jury to decide the first count, second-degree manslaughter, before potentially moving to the second count of criminally negligent homicide. Only if they find him not guilty on the first count, we don't know, it has to be not guilty, then they can consider the criminally negligent homicide as a possibility. All right, so these are the attorneys. Get the man bun. I'm not a fan of the man bun, but that's just me.
That's my favorite.
I'm gonna Okay. Okay, no problem. No problem.
All right, so there is a kind of a makeshift podium. So those people that just marched out that the cameras were following apparently are going to come out this way
No,
and
no, 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 no. This is not over. What it is the first charge was dropped, so they're going to return.
let's see if they actually speak.
Return on Monday because they haven't begun officially deliberating the second case. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, the doors are already in. Does it say start?
See there, that's when he came out earlier. This was a few minutes ago, about 15 minutes ago. So if they did agree, somebody said the first charge, hey, Rudy, first charge has been dropped already. Yeah, I can't see anywhere. I can't find anywhere that the charge was actually dropped. Oh, come on, there you go. Damn. Camera work. Somebody is watching all that. Come on, clear that up. Let's see what's going to happen.
house, right there.
Well, you go the other way, please.
Looks cold.
I like that, Rich. I like that. Me too. Play around. No, that was good. Hey, it was like, go. Like a movie.
It'd really suck if they just don't say anything. Waiting here all this time. Kind of like the Menendez trial, the Menendez hearing a couple of weeks ago. That was the first time that the Menendez brothers actually saw each other in person, I believe, after many years, if not over 30 years. Excuse me. And then, they were to testify on their own behalf, state their case, and afterwards, everybody was waiting for all these this big press conference or statement. And then Mark Garagos came out. He just said a few words, and
All press inside the fence.
the Menendez brothers' family came out and just said something, but she was not even on mic, so you couldn't even hear her. And then the thing just ended after a couple of minutes. So, yeah, it was a bummer.
I'm gonna take a grab. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. Wish I go.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay.
You invented that new style.
What's your post?
You know, this what? This is the pyramid?
Nadia, this is the Daniel Penny case, the subway rider who put a deranged, disturbed homeless person in a chokehold, and the guy ended up dying.
I'm like, stop. Like, it's like talking to a
Huh? You heard it? No. Peanut butter.
Yeah, I think he did the right thing. I don't know why more people. Well, I mean, this is probably why people don't get involved, because they don't want to end up, with the possibility of facing jail or prison time or going to court, even being arrested, even if you're trying to do the right thing. This is precisely why people don't step in anymore. They're happy to just stand back and record everything with their camera and record instead of jump in to help. I think it is. I mean, if there's weapons involved, I understand you're afraid to get stabbed or shot or something. I get it. But, there was a time where people weren't afraid and they would jump in. And maybe we can see some of that now happening, because I'm telling you, it feels like, at least in Chicago, and I think recently with the shooting of the the CEO of the healthcare company, I think people are starting to get really sick of it. Like they're getting sick of it
Guys, just gonna move all the way over there.
in a huge way. Both brothers are now in the same prison in San Diego.
Why you have your press passes out in the pen?
Oh, okay. Well, I heard they hadn't seen each other in years. Yeah, KK, that's the way it should be. I'm waiting to hear what's going to happen with the guy. I saw the case. The guy that parked at the ATM And like a lot of people do, he parked at the ATM, left his car running, then he went up to the machine. It was not a drive-up ATM. He parked, he went up to the ATM, was using it, and while he was there, dude jumped into his car and stole it. And while the guy was driving away,
Check, check,
this
sound
guy
check,
saw
check,
his
check,
car
sound check.
being driven away, and he pulled out his gun, which he had concealed on his person, fired a shot into the car, and I don't know nobody would ever get. Made a direct headshot, and he killed the perp.
Check, check, sound check.
So now that dude's arrested, and
Check, check, sound check.
kind of the same thing here. But his, what might be a little easier because the perp was already driving away. He wasn't necessarily the victim wasn't necessarily in fear of his life. The guy was driving away. Just like they say, if somebody's running away from you, they have their back to you. If you shoot them, that's not cool. So is that considered self-defense still, or defense of your property? So I've been looking that one up, trying to see what's going to happen there. Isabel, I see you now. What'd you do? Yeah, I realize it's not the same thing. It's just that one I think is easier to. That one is easier to make a decision on than this one. Right. Now, if the guy hopped in the car and then he made a U-turn and came back and was trying to run the guy over, well, then he's going to take a shot. And hey, you know what? He was threatening me with a weapon. So yeah, two totally different things. But still, you got people saying, well, his property, it's expensive, it's worth a lot of money, and he was driving away with it. Like, I don't think that's going to cut it. I think once a perpetrator, even if he stole from you, if he's got his back to you, you cannot pull that trigger. You just have to deal with whatever happens normally. Let the legal course of action happen. Call 911. But whether it's a guy driving away, if he just simple. If they're going away from you, you don't shoot them in the back or in the head. You're not going to win that one. But I'm sure you'll get all the activists of all kinds. Hey, Tanya, it's on the show I did last night. It's on there. I played it while I was live last night. But I can see if I can tag you in it if you like.
So the uncle and the dad in the lobby, they're coming out.
Okay, so they are going to come out. I just hope they say something. I miss the big city. So that's like that Chicago. It's cool about being downtown, big city. middle of the day. Yeah, I miss it. Okay, they're focusing on these people. I wonder if that's family of the homeless guy, but I don't know. I got a problem with that too. Then again, I don't know all the circumstances. So, but you ever notice? I mean, it's a homeless guy living on the street, has issues. Family don't care about him, but now that he's dead or something happened and he died, now now they're interested and they care. Like, where were you before? Maybe this didn't have to happen.
Everybody gotta make a pass to 2 o'clock. Right from that block to one side. Sir.
You know, I obviously I'm from Chicago. Well, I was gonna say I'm from Chicago, so obviously I would love downtown Chicago. But I see New York as, the same big city, big metropolis, same kind of downtown, and I don't know about the same. I think Chicago is cleaner, but anyway, big city, big metropolis. You know, I can dig that. I don't know that LA's got a downtown like this. It seems like LA's a big suburb kind of. I mean, I've seen the area and the footage, around Skid Row and all that, but I think I want to get me a New York. I don't want to get the classic "I love New York" stuff. I think that's cheesy. Um, but iconic hat seems to be the New York Yankees baseball cap. Oh, we got something going to be said here. Let's see.
Hawk Newsom. Hawk Newsom, Hawk Newso, Emerson Mary E. We saw the jury having a problem with the top charge. We saw a judge dismiss the top charge. But I want to take you back to jury selection.
Oh boy.
When they found a jury specialist who specializes in getting white supremacist killers off.
Oh boy, here we go.
Who specializes in race-based jury selection. This woman worked OJ's case. She worked Kyle Rittenhouse's case, the person who bought an AR-15 to a Black Lives Matter and killed people. She worked that case, and they paid her I don't know how much money to come in here and pick this jury.
Rittenhouse shot somebody who was
Now,
trying to kill him, by the way.
I want y'all to quote me on this. America is going to America. And this defense team and jury specialists knew that there was no way you could put 9 white people in a room that would find Daniel Penny guilty.
I'll shut up for now.
They picked a white supremacist jury specialist to target the racists in that jury. The prosecution pointed out the fact that defense was eliminating people based on race. Let me take it back because I don't want to scare y'all. Logically thinking, if you pick a white supremacist jury specialist and you pack the jury with white people, obviously you think race has a significant role in this case, and obviously you were looking for that one white supremacist holdout. That one holdout. Might have been more, but there was definitely one person in there that said, I'm not going to convict this white kid for killing that poor little mentally ill Negro piece of trash. Forgive my language, but I'm proving a point. This is how they think. The defendant himself called Jordan a dirty crackhead. And the police let him go. The police found inconsistencies in his story and allowed Daniel Penny to walk free. When does that happen for black people? Am I not making my point clear enough? Racism has its tentacles all over this case.
Boy.
Racism has its evil tentacles all over its case and all around the minds of white America. Are all white people bad? No. The prosecution did a phenomenal job. The judge is trying his hardest to bring justice to Jordan Neely's name. But racism is still alive and kicking in America. There's no other way to view this. Everyone has looked at the case, and those among you who say that Daniel Penny is innocent have racism and bias in your heart. If you look at the facts of this case, then you understand that Daniel Penny is guilty. But today, white supremacy got another victory. Today, the KKK, the Klansmen, the evil in America
Jesus.
got another victory. They got that top charge dismissed. America shall continue to America and shall continue to place second-class status on black people. And black people, don't get your hopes up. I'm going to spare you the shock. Even if convicted of the top charge, he wasn't getting more than 4 years. We don't get justice in these buildings. They might throw us a crumb here and there, but we don't get justice in these buildings. And I dare you to show me a study or some case law to prove that, to disprove that.
Shavonna Newsom, CHIVONA, NEWSOME. I'm the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Greater New York.
Oh boy.
I stand here heartbroken because I have to hug a father who knows that the murderer of his son will most likely go free, who has to look in the face of a jury that no matter the facts, no matter the expert witnesses, no matter the people yelling on that train that day to let Jordan go, you will kill him. They will not find a white man guilty of killing a black man in modern day America. This is no different than Jim Crow. This looks like a picture out of the picture book when you look at that anonymous jury. We have baby boomers who were there doing Jim Crow on this jury. We have young people who are looking at Daniel Penny as a hero. And what America is a hero, a killer. He didn't give a crap about Jordan. The medical examiner said Jordan turned purple. Yes, black people can turn purple when they're denied oxygen. Every lab report showed he died of asphyxiation. And that doesn't matter because they want to spare a white man the penalty of his crimes. America has not changed, and I hate to say it, it may never change. And people who keep asking, are we going to riot? Are we going to protest? Is that what's needed? Do glass have to break? Do cars have to burn for a black man to get justice in America? We can't show up with peace. We can't show up with facts. We can't show up with evidence and witness after witness. You give us nothing, and then you ask us to love this country. America hates black people, and we see it from that jury pool.
You notice I had to change the caption there because I don't know. Well, she is obviously not friends or family of the guy who was a crackhead or a drug addict who had problems. The big guy, I don't know who he is. Although I had the same last name as her, Newsom. So I'm guessing they're not family at all. And boy, this went from zero to racism in record time. Really, the KKK, white supremacy? Yeah. Are they going to riot again now for Jordan Neely? Is this going to be a George Floyd all over again? Nobody's saying the guy had to die, but based on what he had in his system and his body reacted to that chokehold in that way.
Yes, I do have a statement. Yeah, I'm the president of Passengers United. Whenever you guys are ready, I'll give you a soundbite.
Passengers
And I'll
United.
give you my name, spelling of my name and everything.
Stand closer to the mic, sir. They're going to tell him that.
Let me know when you guys are ready. Everyone's ready? All right. So my name is Charlton D'Souza. The spelling of my name is C is in cat, H is in house, A is in apple, R is in rain, L is in light, T is in tag, O is in orange, N is in navel, and then it's D'Souza. D is in dog, S is in school, O is in orange, U is in union, Z is in zebra, A is in apple. I'm the president and founder of Passengers United. So today what we have in our city is a very, very sad day. One life is lost forever, and that's Jordan Neely. And, unfortunately, Daniel Perry was forced to do what he had to do on that subway train. And the reason why he had to do that is because we're the nonprofits in the city who are supposed to be helping the homeless, the mentally ill, and the emotionally disturbed people. It took Daniel Perry to get on that train and to help control the situation, and he may have saved lives on that train. However, there's a lot of complications to this case. This is a very, very complicated case. And so, obviously our job is to represent passengers and their safety in the subway system, but our subway system right now is in a state of crisis. If you go in the subway system right now, every day, you see suicides. People are committing suicides. People are getting stabbed. People are getting murdered in the subway. And our elected officials have turned this whole trial into a circus. It doesn't do any justice for Jordan Neely. It doesn't help Daniel Perry either. Both of these two men lives have been destroyed forever. And that's what we have to consider here, guys. It's a very sad day for America and a very sad situation all around. And again, tonight, you're going to see more people committing suicide in the subway system. Where are all these nonprofits? Where was the nonprofit that was supposed to be helping Jordan Neely? They didn't do anything. So that's pretty much it, guys. If anyone wants to interview me, our website is passengersunited.org. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We go to all the crime scenes. We go to a lot of subway pushes. We go to derailments. We speak up for the passengers. And we do support more police in the subway. Perhaps if there were more police officers, perhaps the situation could have been prevented. Why was Jordan Neely allowed to be on the subway? That was his thing. Very sad situation, guys. And the elected officials have to answer for this. They really do. Because they don't care about us on the subway. That could have been me. That could have been any one of us in Daniel Perry's situation. So I understand what that man went through. He went through a lot. That's all I got to say. Yeah, yep.
So basically, they had to wait for somebody to get stabbed or punched or something for somebody to jump in and do something. And then if you turn it over to police, have police in the subway, which I totally agree with. They should be walking around. You ever see I've seen video of police in other countries in the subways, and they're walking around there with their machine guns hanging on their chest. I mean, there's tight security. And you know what? I'm okay with that. And if something would have happened, then all this, instead of Daniel Penny being on the stand, it might have been, diffused by police and police would have diffused the whole situation or taken him away, arrested him, or oh, who knows? It would have gotten worse with police anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was a great mic check. Does this thing work? Is this thing on?
So I don't know. I'm just
Here, Christian.
calling this a white supremacist jury, or I think it's freaking ridiculous. I think as she leaves, probably going to a $200 steak dinner and then going to her mansion. One of her many mansions that she's got. But I'm not digging that comment. Hold on. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, yeah, it's like somebody died, obviously. And of course, the Newsomes, those two that were defending it and calling racism and all that, they never once mentioned about his drug abuse or that he was homeless. It's like, you want to help everybody. I thought it was family. I was gonna say, where were you when that guy needed somebody? Where were you when he needed help? Where were you when he needed the mental help? Obviously, something was wrong. Where were you when he needed to get free and clear from addiction and drug abuse? Yeah, they want to defund. They want to defund and close different agencies of the police department. All that's been happening since 2016, since the Obama era. It's sad that it went to, I would hate to think every member of that jury was racist or a member of the KKK, like it was suggested, or white supremacist. Like, come on. That's always the go-to thing. I mean, that's the go-to thing. I mean, I don't know how people feel about racism and black people. I grew up in Chicago. We had every color under the rainbow. We coexisted and did everything as Chicagoans. Not as black Chicagoans, not as Mexican Chicagoans, not as Puerto Rican Chicagoans or Chinese. We were just Chicagoans. This was a case of a drug addict who was going nuts, a crackhead who was going nuts. And you know what? You do stupid crap, and at some point, we live with so many million people. What is our population? 130 million? And not everybody's the same. Everybody's going to react different. And just luck of the draw, that's what happened that day. He decided he was going to go on that train. Maybe he didn't even think. He was drugged up. Probably didn't even know what he was doing. But for whatever reason, life put him on that train, and the drugs or whatever were in his system made him go around threatening people, or for whatever his reason, he wanted to kill people. Even if he didn't mean to, he was saying he wanted to kill people. I know if I was on that train, I would be on high ass alert. So I'm not going to let him come at me, or if somebody's going to attack somebody, I'm the kind of person who's going to jump in. I'm not just going to let things happen. Watch and pull out my phone and record. And you know what? More and more of the not very far, Anaheim, California, there's a car chase. Do we want to watch a car chase? I don't know. Anyway, disappointing that they took this to just complete racism. I mean, it wasn't like a hint of racism. They went full blown white supremacist jury. It's like, gosh, not a fan of that. Not cool. My opinion. Yeah, he was. He was a trouble guy, you know, for whatever the reason. He was a trouble guy, and then when you get into drugs, that always complicates everything more. And unfortunate. You know, where was his family? Why didn't his family speak? You know, I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but yeah, the Grand Wizard. Yeah, I don't. So basically, this thing is probably going to get completed, just unless it was. Let's see if there's something on this yet. If you're interested, it's called passengersunited.org. And it sucks that there has to be that kind of organization. But he was right. He's there every time there's a crime. A lot of people get pushed off the platforms into the train, in the path of a train. Let me see. I mean, when they do it for a reason, call out racism, or I mean, if it's truly that, and it's blatant and obvious, hey, I'll stand right there with you. But to call it out just to call it out, and not even recognize that the guy he had mental health issues, he was on drugs, he had a system full of drugs. You know, thought publicity, and so anyway, that's all I got for now. We'll be back later around 7:30ish. Oriana will be with me, and we're gonna show some videos and watch some stuff and do some reactions. So tune in a little bit later. I will put out the notification as soon as I figure out what time we're doing this. So for now, thank you all. I've got a few subscribers to Manny Behind The Mic on Facebook who have become subscribers, and like I said, I'll be putting that group together in the next few days. I gotta figure out all those details, and then everybody who has subscribed will be put into that group automatically. So I'll let you know when that happens. As far as right now, thanks for hanging out with me for just a little bit. We'll talk to you